It's Cricbuzz live time once again. What's better than midweek blues? Midweek India blues. India played their second World Cup game after a thrilling win against Australia. Here we are then on this lovely, breezy, pleasant afternoon. Two gentlemen who have different numbers of air miles. Zaheer Khan has just strolled across from his palatial house to the Cricbuzz studio, where the man to his left has been earning 1,000,000 miles every day. GK, how much have you travelled over the last 48 hours?
That's a lovely start, by the way. Quite a bit. I must say that I just got awarded Vistara Gold 2 days ago, if that really helps.
Anyone wanting to lend their private plane to Mr. Karthik here, please write to us with hashtag #AskCricBuzzLive. Well, India play their second game. Zach, what we saw in that first game tells you that this is a much different side from 2019. No middle order woes. As far as that result is concerned, India down 3 for almost nothing. But then the middle order comes to the party, and how?
Well, it's just about finding ways of winning games of cricket, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how it should be. It's not about top order, middle order. It's about collectively as a team figuring out and winning games. So sometimes you have to bail out the batters. Sometimes you have to bail out the bowlers. I think with bowling, we did a really good job of restricting Australia for 200. But that start with the new ball was something which we don't see often. Right away put Indian batting under pressure. Yep. And then to have a partnership like that was something which is definitely going to lift up the whole dressing room, the whole squad. And these are the games which always gives you that edge in the tournament. I think it was that sort of a game for India. The first up, tough opposition. And you are putting up a performance like that from a tough situation, finding a way of winning the game is definitely going to go a long way for India in this tournament.
Yes, it was a pressure chase as Ishan Kishan, Rohit Sharma and Shreyas Iyer got out very quickly. India were 2 for 3. I think that's what it was. Now, let's look back at some of these ODIs and T20s that our friend Dinesh Karthik was a part of. Now, the journey that India has made since the last World Cup to now tells you that the experiments that were happening with Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma trying a lot of things which to a lot of fans didn't make sense, but clearly it's now coming good for India. They know exactly what they're doing and it augurs really well to be able to finish a game after being 2 or 3 down very quickly.
You know, they say diamonds are born when the most pressure is applied. And yesterday, or rather last game when India played, enough and more pressure was applied in the first 2 overs when Australia bowled. And that's when character came through. It was great to see KL Rahul and Virat do what they did because they were up against 2 bowlers who were bowling really well. Mitchell Starc was swinging it. Josh Hazlewood, on the other hand, was getting seam movement and both bowled really well. We could have easily been far worse, but the way they just batted and controlled it was brilliant to watch. And these are the kind of games that's going to give India the confidence because they will be pushed in this World Cup for sure at different points. But this win, this batting partnership, that will give them the confidence to say we can fight and come back from nowhere. And that is very important for Team India.
Yes, this match between India and Afghanistan will be played at the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi. Remember, 754 runs were scored the last time they played here, South Africa versus Sri Lanka. It was 754, clearly batter's paradise. Afghanistan have won the toss, Zach, and chosen to bat first.
Yeah, so if Afghanistan is batting first, hope that's not the case today. Then it will be another tough game for Indian team.
Yeah.
Since they are bowling first, they would want to continue with whatever we've seen in the previous game. I think Bumrah was good with the new ball. So that is something which India would want to continue with. We'll have to see whether they've made that change of adding a fast bowler to that bowling lineup. Afghanistan, little surprising that they've decided to bat first. I think we've seen in the tournament so far, if you're bowling first in dry conditions, a dry pitch, there is a little bit of grip on offer. You've seen how Afghanistan bowlers usually operate when there is enough help for the spinners. They rely on their slow bowlers quite a lot. So that way, it's a little surprising that they've chosen to bat first.
Yep, Rohit Sharma at the toss said that they saw some dew last evening. They would have liked to bat second, and that's what they've got. One change. Ashwin misses out. In comes Shardul Thakur.
Is everybody surprised here? Because I am a little bit. I would have wanted Shami to play because I would have backed the batting to say 7 batters will do a job for us against Afghanistan. But The one good thing is they're following the process that they've set for themselves. We want to bat deep, hence Shardul Thakur comes in. I feel that in this game, if Shardul Thakur is batting, we are under a little bit of pressure, especially now that we're chasing a total. Though I understand where Rohit Sharma is coming from. His thinking is it's going to be between Ashwin and Shardul throughout unless and until there's an injury to a fast bowler. Understandable. They're following a process which they've been speaking about for some time, which is to bat deep, and hence picked Shardul Thakur in the squad. And if they feel that fast bowling is the way to go in Delhi, Shardul Thakur is the understandable choice, but the attacking choice definitely would have been Mohammad Shami.
Yeah, Mohammad Shami picked up a hat-trick against his very opposition the last time India played them at the World Cup. Was this a rare opportunity for India to play their top three pacers?
I would have liked to see that flexibility from the team management, when you have a well-rounded squad, you can tactically go a little aggressive with the ball in hand. We've seen that with New Zealand opting for Lockie Ferguson when they were playing against Netherlands. That one change always goes a long way. We've seen England also added Reece Topley, even though they prefer to bat till number 10, but they made that call knowing the team they're playing against. I think considering that, if that flexibility was there, it would have just added that one more tactical layer to India's campaign. They're just sticking with the process. They're saying, okay, fine, this is what we believe in. We want the individuals to be ready to play their roles when the big match comes. And that is why they are going with this kind of approach. We know we are playing against Afghanistan. We could have been attacking and aggressive with the ball, but we don't want to do that. We want players to settle in their role. And hence, Shardul walks in the side because they've been giving that importance to number 8 bowler who can bat. We've seen that, we can go back to Aksar's discussion again, saying that okay, that's how they gave him the spot in the 15-member squad because of injury. Now Ashwin has come in, but Ashwin also is a handy with bat in hand. So that is the approach they're going to go in with. So I completely agree with DK that we're not going to see Shami for a while unless it's a forced change, I feel, in this tournament.
Defensive move, some might say.
It doesn't matter. I get where they're coming from. Let's take a case in point. 3 days later, they're playing Pakistan. And if they see a little bit of grass on the pitch and they decide, okay, we need 3 medium paces, they're not going to go to Shami. They're going to go back to Shardul. Now, if you want Shardul to play in that match because you want to bat deep, this match, provide him the bowling that is required to play, is important. If they feel this is a match where they needed 3 medium paces, hence it becomes the right choice for Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid to go with Shardul Thakur. Where Zach and I come from is, it's an aggressive option. You want to win this game, but I think they're looking at the bigger picture and saying, whenever we want to play a fast bowler, we want that guy to be able to bat, and hence Shardul is our choice. That's why we picked him, and understandable.
Yes, India, I suppose, looking at the macro picture, what about Afghanistan? They lost to Bangladesh in Dharamshala, a low-scoring game. They won the toss and chose to bat first. They've gone in without any changes. Would you have made any changes considering the conditions at the Kotla small ground as well?
In many ways, they cannot, because we were just discussing off-air. If you want to bring in another bowler, which would be Noor Ahmed, who is a wrist spinner, he's not developed yet to play ODI cricket. He seems to be too expensive. He's more comfortable bowling defensively and with 5 fielders outside. I saw it in the warm-up matches, and hence I'm saying that. And they don't have another batter that they could fit into this team.
Yep.
Right now, the other batsman is Ibrahim Alikhil, who's the wicket-keeper. They don't have anybody of repute who can walk into that team and say, you know what, I can replace this batter. They had a fabulous warm-up match against Sri Lanka where they crushed them with the bat, with obviously the opener getting 100. Cricbuzz batted beautifully. So at this point of time, with just one blemish against Bangladesh in Dharamshala, they wouldn't be making changes. Though, the one thing that has let them down for some time now in ODI cricket is their batting. Along with Sri Lanka, in the last 4 years, they have been the poorest batting team in terms of averages and strike rate. And that has been their Achilles heel, and that was found out again in Dharamshala.
Yes, right up top, Rahmanullah Gurbaz and Ibrahim Zadran will have to face the wrath of an informed Jasprit Bumrah. Now, Zadran is a very interesting story, Zach. He's a young guy, 23 years old. He's played a couple of World Cups as well, was at the T20 World Cup as well. Now, he seems to be one rare guy amidst a lot of the power hitters that Afghanistan has. He seems to have the right technique, doesn't look 23, but he is 23. He's been a bit hot and cold. How important is it for him to spend some time on the crease, because he seems to go very up and down, 81 match, 0 the next, 7, 1, 11. Those are his scores in the last few ODIs.
Well, that's a very healthy average to have, even if you have those kind of scores. Well, what that tells me, when you have those kind of numbers, it's a small sample size, just 20 innings. So when he's in, he's looking to play longish innings, and that's a good sign for any batter. So if he gets going and gives that start, that's going to make that much easier for Rahmat, who is also a very good batter at number 3. And Gurbaz is someone who is going to take advantage of that first power play. We've seen he's not someone who is going to waste time. He right from the word go looks to put bowlers under pressure. So that's the kind of approach they'll have. I keep saying, be it Sri Lanka, be it Netherlands, be it Afghanistan, Bangladesh, when they put runs on board, and maybe that's why they are inclining towards batting first, every time they put runs on board, they suddenly feel that they have a chance of winning the game or putting the opposition under pressure and creating that scenario which can give them that win. So Afghanistan today will be looking to do that. They'll be looking at, say, Delhi, not a big ground, get a good start, get runs on board, maybe no dew, and you have a little bit of help from the pitch. The spinners come into play. Rashid having a good day is something which they always expect, and if that happens, they can put India under pressure.
DK, a lot of runs are being scored between 11 and 40, also in the last 10. Should that tell openers to just hang in there? Even if you score 35, 40 in the first 10, you have the time to cover up. We saw Pakistan chase really intelligently last night as well. So for a player like Zadran, who's still 23, would it be okay for him to say score 30, 35 in the first 10 and then take off, play the big shots later on a pitch like this?
You got to assess it pitch to pitch, condition to condition. Zach was just telling me off air that he was surprised the amount of bounce and pace Chennai pitch had in the first few overs. So it behaved differently, because when we bowl, a lot of the times Bumrah and Siraj's ball didn't even carry through to the keeper. So it plays differently under the lights. Till now, nobody is able to point a finger and say why that happens. Why there is swing under lights, nobody knows, but there is always swing under lights. Even in India, for all this talks about it being very placid pitches, there is something with the new ball, and we'll see it today as well. There might not be swing, but I think because it is a dry pitch, it will behave in such a way which might not be easy for stroke making at the start. As the game progresses, you'll see much better batting conditions, and Afghanistan's main problem is not how hard they go up top. It is through the middle, between 11 and 40, they lose their way a bit. And Zadran, who Zach just spoke about, has been definitely a key player for them, because he's done well against Pakistan, did well at the start of the Asia Cup. He is somebody who, when he does well, Afghanistan gets a massive score. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Zadran shapes up, because he is one of those players, just like Zach alluded to, plays long. And that's why you see that average over 50, and he's the only batsman averaging over 50 in that lineup. And there is only one other batsman who averages over 40, which tells you that the middle order hasn't been doing really well of late.
Yes, let's now talk about one of India's premier spinners, Kuldeep Yadav, and there are two reasons why he'll be key. One, he's been India's highest wicket taker in 2023, and the other is that he picked up a 4-wicket haul the last time India played an ODI in Delhi. Now, for this World Cup, with our friends, Naukri.com, India's #1 job portal, they worked very closely with the Cricbuzz team and come up with something they called the Naukri Career Score. Now, that's where Naukri uses all its expertise in growing careers. They've figured a way to look at cricket stats in a very different way to give us this thing they call the Naukri Cricket Score. Where does Kuldeep Yadav find himself on this graphic right up top? Take a look at this. Naukri.com Cricket Score. Indian bowler since 2019 finds himself with a score of 668 above Shami, Siraj, Bumrah, Chahal, and we've got to get a fast bowler to talk about, a list which is Well, topped by a spinner. Kuldeep Yadav has been one of the happier stories in the last couple of years for India.
Before I talk about Kuldeep, now that explains your corporate look for today. I was thinking why it's like such prim and proper corporate look by
I have
Manish.
to make up for my lack of stature with some decent clothes. So anyway,
Well done, well done. Kuldeep, look, he's been through his ups and downs.
Yep.
You've seen he had some knee issue. Before that, everyone have been advising him to be that little quicker through the air. And maybe, that injury phase has given him enough time to work on the other aspects of bowling as well. And that's that luxury you don't have when you're playing regularly. So lead up, you've seen that he was playing regularly, and these concerns were raised with few of the bowling coaches, the experts, whoever have been advising him also. He definitely needed to be little quicker. On tough days, batters would go after him, and that kind of put him in that tough phase of his career, where he was going for runs, not able to have the similar kind of impact. But he's come out very strong, and right now the change is visible when he's approaching his bowling. He's quicker through the airs. He's using those variations very well. And the most important thing, because he bowls in the middle phase, and any bowler who is doing that job for the team, you always try to judge those bowlers on the basis of what kind of impact they have, how many wickets they are taking in that middle overs. And Kuldeep is right up there. And I think that's why he has got that nod over Chahal as well. Yep. If you see, that competition of wrist spinners were very strong. Chahal has that experience, but Kuldeep right now has shown that form, wicket-taking form, which matters in the middle overs, and earned him a spot. And the confidence right now is showing in his bowling with the kind of body language he's carrying on the field. Had a very good Asia Cup, and now for the World Cup also, he's going to play a very important role for the team in those middle overs especially.
yes, he's going to be quite a force in the middle overs. Now, the reason he finds himself right up top on that Naukri.com career score graphic is, well, there are 4 reasons, 4 categories. Take a look at this graphic: longevity, situational performance, win contribution, and consistency. A lot of factors have to come together for you to be at number 1 on that career score. Longevity, clearly the key, because he's at number 2 with a score of 955 on the Naukri career score.
I've quite enjoyed this Naukri.com career score only because when you look at stats in itself, it doesn't paint the right picture. When you subdivide it into certain categories like what they've done, longevity and the consistency and all of that, it paints a picture of how good he has been over a period of time. For me, what is fascinating is his mindset. Yes, he's made the technical changes. Let's take the Chennai game, for example. They've lost the toss, they're bowling, they've picked the 1 wicket, but then a partnership develops between their 2 best batters. Warner and Smith get going, and Rohit turns to him, and after a bit, he gets that wicket you want. Now, that for me is great. And the way he picked up that wicket also is what I like. He was varying his pace in a subtle manner. And that's the reason why he's been the highest wicket taker in the last 1.5 years. He's picked up close to 40. Zach, myself and Sehwag did the show before asking who the best bowler of this World Cup could be, or the highest wicket taker, as they say. 2 of us nominated Kuldeep Yadav for this simple reason that he has the ability to pick up wickets through the middle. And even that Glenn Maxwell wicket was quite a wicket because he was the main guy at that stage who could take the game away. The game was drifting a little bit, but he stuck. So I'm enjoying watching him bowl. He seems to be the bowler that Rohit seems to go to whenever he needs a wicket. I think he's using Ashwin whenever he plays, and Jadeja as the defensive option, and Kuldeep as the attacking option. And he is responding to that in a very, very good manner.
Let's break it down further. It's been a bit of an up and down journey for Kuldeep Yadav. There was a time a couple of years ago where he was looking a bit lost. There was a knee injury as well, missed out on an IPL. Take a look at the year 2023, which has contributed the most to Kuldeep's score on this Naukri career score graphic. What a year it's been, and it's come just in the nick of time. World Cup here, World Cup at home. Augurs really well. He seems very high on confidence as well. Just
well, I mean, that graphic is exactly the right explanation of what I was trying to say. Say 2019 World Cup, there was a time when Kuldeep and Chahal both were playing together. Kulcha was in action, doing very well for the team. And after that, you see those tough years. Then ending up in a knee surgery, which he had to undergo. After that, I think then the graph is also going. It's not been like, okay, I've done the surgery, I've come back, and things have started to happen. As a bowler, you need to gain that confidence, and that tentativeness goes away as you start playing. You get opportunities, you make use of those opportunities, and then things start to happen. So that V-shape graph is a right explanation to how he has been in the last 3 or 4 years. Doing well, going down a bit, working hard, figuring out things, what is going to take for me to make that impact at this level, how batters are figuring me out, what are my options, all those kind of things have come in, and that a little bit of slider, flipper, or that one really quick delivery which he's bowling is the answer to that. He knows that if I'm under really big pressure, or when I know that batsman is going to go hard for me, hard against me, that's the time he uses that. You've seen that in IPL as well, but right now he's bowling even better because the performances are there for him to be free. Now, right now, you're not thinking about whether you're going to be picked or not, and that's a very big thing for any player. If you know that you are a certainty in the team, your thinking about the game is completely different.
Yeah.
When your spot is in question, and you don't know whether you're going to be part of the playing 11, not going to be part of the playing 11, then your mind is thinking about all these other things. You're not thinking about the game or which batters you're playing against, how you're going to get them out. You're thinking about, oh, whether I'm going to be in the team or no, who is going to play, what kind of conditions on offer, all those kind of things. Yeah. So I think the fact that the wickets are behind his back right now, and the confidence is showing, he's the one who is in good space to have a good campaign in this World Cup.
Yes, Kuldeep Yadav will also bowling at a venue which is his IPL home venue, and got to say, some fans might want to send a thank you note to Ricky Ponting and to Rishabh Pant as well because of the way he's been handled while bowling in the IPL. Moving on from Kuldeep Yadav to India's premier finger spinner Ravindra Jadeja. DK, he's with his performance in that last game, he's told the world, yes, while the spotlight is on wrist spinners, bhai hum bhi hai team mein, finger spinners ka bhi kuch hai.
Oh, it's phenomenal, isn't it, the first game? The moment I saw the pitch, my gut just told me it was Jadeja's pitch. You can see in these kind of pitches where there's going to turn, but the odd one going straight, he is probably one of the toughest bowlers to play because he's got such great overspin, and naturally in pitches which turn and aid spin, he's been very, very tough over the years. And you could see in conditions like that, the right-handers really struggled to play him. And what was good is, over the years in those kind of pitches, he's become a good bowler even to left-handers. The way he got Alex Carey out early in his inning was a good wicket. You can see the confidence coming through. My only thing is, I just genuinely wish that confidence rubs off on his batting, because Team India need him to do well as a batter at number 7, and he has it in him. There is no doubt. He's just won the IPL for CSK in that last game. So he has it. I really wish that batting form and the batting confidence comes through with the ball as well, because with the ball in conditions which are slow or which aid spin, he is going to be as good as any bowler in this world.
And that augurs not too well for the Afghanistani middle order, which has looked rather brittle over the last couple of years. They've played about 152 ODIs so far, still a relatively young force in international cricket. One of their premier batters, Mohammad Nabi, former captain as well, has played 147 of those now. He's 38 years old, a wealth of experience, but of what use is that experience if it doesn't come good in a World Cup game? I mean, they're still searching for that one seminal World Cup win. They haven't had one.
Cricket is a team we've played with 11 players. I think he has been the most consistent. The fact that he's played 147 out of 152 tells you how committed he is to Afghanistan, because he's also one of those players who's sought after in franchisee leagues, but he's always made himself available for Afghanistan. A very successful captain, most respected player. You can ask the likes of Rashid Khan and Noor Ahmed. He is the player that they look up to the most, consistent performer. In the times that he has played IPL, he's been very good at performing for various teams, be it Sunrisers or he was part of KKR. He's played for a few teams. And for me, even in the recently concluded Asia Cup, he got a brilliant 50 when it mattered. A lovely 50 and almost got them across the line against Sri Lanka. Yep. He is an impact player. With the ball in the warm-up game, he got 4 wickets. So he knows it all. He's the most experienced. He's the most revered Afghanistan player. And for them to do well in this World Cup, he always has a big role to play.
Unable to control the batting when it comes to collapses. They're not able to come back. It's a longer format as well. Has Afghanistan struggled to switch from T20 to ODIs? Because the longer the format, the more brittle they look.
Well, ODI is a tough format with that regard. Like you know that T20, the gap between the teams can be shortened. If two players are having a great day, it's 120 deliveries to play with. You can have that impact if two batters have played brilliant innings. But in ODIs, there is that consolidation phase as well. So you got to have a well-equipped game to be able to take advantage of the platform if you've got from the openers. Like Cricbuzz is going to go hard when there are only two fielders outside the ring. You might score 60 runs. You might score 70 runs on a good day. But what matters is that from 11 over to over number 40, you still got to consolidate. You still got to, you can't take high risk in that phase. And you got to keep the scoreboard ticking, maybe bat at 4-5 runs per over, which you've seen all the good teams do. If they get a good start, they might they might look to just push that tempo tad bit higher in the middle overs, but they're smart to do that. Now, all those aspects, when you see Afghanistan, those aspects are lacking because they're taking high risk options and they're losing wickets in the process, which puts more pressure. So I think that side of the game they need to really get on top of. They're very fearless with their approach. But the middle phase of ODI cricket, you got to have that ability of consolidation, build a partnership, not lose too many wickets. When the field is spread in that second power play, then that's when the pressure gets to them. If you soaked in some dot balls, the immediate instinct is to go for a glory shot. Hit that six to get out of pressure, which doesn't help the team's cause. So I think that one aspect of the game. Maybe Mr. Jadeja is there right now. He might be working with them to figure things out around that.
Yeah, one good way to explain that would be even if you have a Ferrari and if you're driving on the Mumbai Western Express Highway, you can't let the Ferrari do what it can do. You may have a few other gears, but you've got to time it right. One of the reasons could also be that they're not playing enough ODIs. They played the least number of ODIs among all the World Cup teams in that last in this World Cup cycle. Only 29 ODIs. DK. They've got to play more.
There's a larger answer to this. How many teams want to play against Afghanistan? You play a T20 against them, obviously you garner a lot more eyeballs. So it's understandable when teams choose to play 5 T20s and just the 3 ODIs a lot of the times. And they get stuck with that because at the end of the day, they're an affiliate team, just turned international a few years ago. They're still building a base of supporters from Afghanistan. And as you all know, they play a lot of games away. There is no home game concept there. Even if they want home, the maximum they can go to is Dubai and play. And a lot of the times, they don't get the opportunity to do that. So this is a team that travels more than other teams to play. And most of the calendars of other international countries are pretty packed. So to fit in Afghanistan can be a lot tougher. Whereas if you have home games, then you can choose who you want to play. That luxury is not there with Afghanistan, and hence the lesser number of matches that they've played over a period of time.
India have the luxury of a fit and fine and happy and healthy Jasprit Bumrah, who will be once again running into the Afghanistani openers with the new ball in hand. Bumrah, after injury, we're seeing the Bumrah of the old. It's so good to see him bowl the way he does. And the wicket of Mitchell Marsh, I think it was in that first game, just tells you that he's back.
Yeah, he's certainly back. There's no doubt about that. We've been seeing that. We've been saying that. And his form is going to matter. There's no doubt about that. You need a leader of the pack with fast bowlers, and Bumrah is right up there. Siraj did a fantastic job when Bumrah was injured. He has played maximum number of games, has been very consistent with taking wickets. He has certainly developed as a bowler, but Bumrah coming back is going to ease off that pressure of him as well. And collectively, you've seen all the fast bowlers have been very consistent. So that's one thing when you look at the Indian team, they've been ticking all those boxes very nicely. It's a very well-rounded approach with regard to spinners. The whole bowling unit, I feel, has been very, very consistent. Bumrah is a match winner. You don't have to look too much into the numbers. When he's on song, he's going to trouble any batters in the world. even in the team meetings, when you look at the teams which he plays against, that one crucial factor always must be discussed, that how you're going to tackle Bumrah. Because he's going to bowl with that new ball. If he gets a wicket, then maybe Rohit will give him that extended spell.
Yeah.
If not, go in the middle overs. If there is some reverse swing on offer, you know how deadly he can be. That slower one which we've seen is a nice dipping slow one which is so good with. And at the back end, I think India is going to heavily rely on Bumrah to do the job in the back 10 overs.
Very quickly before we wrap up, DK, is Bumrah to 2023 what Zaheer Khan was to 2011?
He can definitely be. Zaheer Khan was very special. He was the most underrated player in that World Cup. We speak a lot about the Yuvraj Singhs, the Sachin Tendulkars, who had a fabulous World Cup. But from a bowling standpoint, he was a standout bowler throughout the World Cup. Bumrah was phenomenal in 2019, and I wish he can do the same in this World Cup. Because if he has a year similar to Zach, then I think we'll be in a very strong position in this World Cup.
Well, time for you to test your cricket awareness, cricket intelligence as well. What's the joy factor question today? No joy here, but the question's always here. What feat did Reece Topley achieve 10 years before Dunit Velelage and 8 years before Ravi Bishnoi? Midweek, such a tough question, Joy. Any idea?
No.
Has to be something to do with the wickets, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
They're all bowlers, that's all I can see.
All different heighted as well. I don't think Bishnoi or Velelage are 6'7".
Not all rounders.
I always look at height.
Bowlers. Maybe Velelage with the bat also.
Yeah, well, maybe. So, well, that's the joy factor question. You've got about 7 hours to crack that one and let us know. Make sure you tweet to us with the answer to that question. The Afghani batters are out. Big scoring venue. First innings predictions.
I'll say 240.
Okay.
India will have a good day with the ball.
Okay.
255.
211. 211, 245 and 245 you said. Right?
I don't know, 240, 245.
Yeah, something like that. We'll see. We'll see you at the 15 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. To join us then. Enjoy the game and hopefully India will register their second win. Bye for now.